Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, where we talk just about anything and everything entertainment. I am your host, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lamone, and joining me is my dad, Larry Lamone. Dad, say hi to the people.
Hello, just call me Big Limon.
Big Limon, okay. This is the Lemon Kickback for most of the audience here who's through YouTube. This is new for y'all, but for the people who've been around since the SoundCloud days, this is very familiar territory. This is where we talk about some things in movie news and just give our input and what we think on what's going to happen, or if we like it, or if we don't like it. Basically, it's movie news. That's all it really is. But we always try to add our own little spin on it and all that. Dad, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
I'm looking forward to this a lot. All right, so our first piece of news is about The Lion King. Another live-action movie is coming, Lion King 2. But this time it will not be directed by Jon Favreau. He's a little busy right now. He is dealing with The Mandalorian. You know, he created Mando, and they are right now still filming Season 3. Yep, they are greenlit for Season 3. And they are currently writing Season 4. So his plate's a little full with that TV show. So he cannot be back to film the second movie, I should say, of Lion King 2. But they got a really good replacement. They got director Barry Jenkins, who directed Moonlight, which is the Best Picture winner of the 2016 Oscars. So, I mean, if you're going to get a replacement, a person who directed a Best Picture winner, it's a pretty good replacement to have. Now, most people who know me know I am not a fan of the 2019 Lion King remake. However, I cannot really argue that much as to why that they are going to make another one. I mean, Dad, listen to all these stats here. Even though it made a 52% rating on the critics, 88% of the audience gave it a thumbs up, so the audience obviously loves it. It made $1.6 billion at the box office on just a $250 million budget.
Not bad.
So, you know, Disney's just sitting there like, I mean, it's free money at this point. I don't really know where else to go from here. Sure, you have the animated Lion King 2, Simba's Pride. As most people know, the first movie takes place after Shakespeare's Hamlet. The second one is Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. I think you go a different route here. Do you think this is the right move for Disney to go? And not only that, do you think about, because, you know, this is not the only live-action Disney remake movie that's getting a sequel. Aladdin's also getting one as well. Do you think it's right for Disney to keep really pulling on the nostalgia strings with all of us with, you know, just remake after remake after remake, and then making as much money as possible with the sequels?
Well, sometimes I think that Disney kind of goes with what's going on at that moment. So I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, because nowadays, the way people are streaming things and everybody's going into that kind of mode of watching movies, it would be a good thing for it. There's no reason why they shouldn't. In my opinion, there's no reason why they shouldn't, because it made money, it's entertaining, and I think they can just add to that and keep it going.
So you think this is the right move to go, to make a sequel, to put it into theaters?
Absolutely, without a doubt. I think it's a good thing. Do
you think they keep the musical thing going? Or do you think, hey, we tried that once? Because here's my problem with the live action. It was basically a copy and paste of the animated movie, the original animated. But this time it was live action. And, you know, when they were singing, it wasn't, you know, with no emotions and all that. It was just, you know, a live action cat trying to sing, and it just looked weird. And, you know, there was no emotion, and everything just felt kind of dull in some ways. I don't know how you change that. A lot of people are like, look, if you just make it look like the animated people, then it kind of defeats the purpose. Then what was really the point of making a remake in the first place? Although, what's the point of making any movie? If you really think about it. Do you think they keep going, or because, you know, that's the formula? Or do you think they're going to go a different route, be like, okay, we did the songs for the first one, now let's really make our own thing with this property?
Okay, so I'm not sure if they're actually going to go with the theme of musical. I'm hoping and I'm thinking that they're going to change it up, and they're going to go more with movie animated action, and that kind of thing. I don't think it's going to be more musical. I think it's going to be less musical. Might have a little bit, but I think it's going to be less.
I'm hoping for that too, but if I had to bet money, I think they will go musical with it. Alright, moving on. Sticking with Disney, this is mostly a Disney type of kickback today. We are huge fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as you can tell by the Iron Man behind my dad. And is that the only thing I got? No, I got Spider-Man too. And also a big Marvel sign that you can't see above. We are huge fans. We did not miss a single opening for every Marvel Studios movie. X-Men, we missed a couple because those movies were hit or miss for us. And Spider-Man, those are the only... We were there opening day as soon as possible. So we are huge fans. Now, with Disney Plus coming out, they are going with... They have their own little TV series going on. There's a Hawkeye series coming. There's the WandaVision, which looks bonkers. I'm excited to see that. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and now we are going to be adding Nick Fury to the Disney Plus series, and Samuel L. Jackson is expected to return as Nick Fury for this series. Now, before we get into, what we think, like, is this going to be a prequel? They're going to use the age makeup like they did, or this age CGI, I should say, that they used in Captain Marvel to show how he became who he is and how he got into S.H.I.E.L.D. and all that? Or are they going to go post-credit scene of Spider-Man Far From Home and he's actually like fighting in space with the aliens and all that? Just what are your overall thoughts on a Nick Fury series? And not only that, but the Marvel Disney Plus series as a whole and how they tie into the MCU movies as well.
Well, Nick Fury is kind of the catalyst for the whole thing. And he kind of runs the show. So I think a series on him will be really good because they can incorporate a whole lot of different things. Now, maybe the series, I hope they limit it to a certain amount of things and they just don't get completely out of control with it and just try to do too much is what I'm hoping for.
That you're hoping they don't try to do too much. Now, you are also a fan of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I am worried that this might go a route like that, where, there's the mini Avengers. I'm also not the hugest fan of Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's one of the few things that we have a disconnect on. I think it's a little too cheesy for me, and they rely too much on the movies for my taste. But with Samuel L. Jackson, I feel like they won't. They'll actually make it his own thing. I'm just worried on this could potentially just become Avengers Light or Diet Avengers. Do you think that's a possibility? Do you think they just kind of make this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 2?
No, absolutely not. Not with Nick Fury at the helm. I think it'll be different. It'll be more action. It'll be more suspenseful. And I think it's going to have more character than Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was a little bit different than what I thought it was going to be. But I did enjoy the show for what it was. But Nick Fury, he's going to bring a whole different attitude to the series, and I think it's going to be good.
Do you think this might be one of their most edgier shows? Because I feel like with Nick Fury and also with Sam Jackson, I mean, obviously Disney's not going to go rated R. No. Or TVMA, for that matter. I mean, Mandalorian is probably the most edgiest thing that they got. Do you think this could be a little more edgier than Mando? Yes,
I think it's going to be a little bit more edgier. I think it's going to have a lot more action and suspense to keep you grips and keep you going show after show.
Out of all 4 TV shows, the Nick Fury, Loki, WandaVision, Falcon, Winter Soldier, and Hawkeye, 5 actually, which one of the shows are you most looking forward to the most?
Nick Fury by far. Nick Fury by far. Because there's so many different things that he's going to bring to the table that's going to be more entertaining to me.
Interesting. I am mostly looking forward to WandaVision just because it looks so weird. I'm just really looking forward to that one.
I'm looking forward to all of them because I'm a huge fan of the whole thing. But in my opinion, yes, Nick Fury, I think, is going to bring more to the table.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, moving on. Like I said, we're sticking with Marvel here. A little bit of breaking news that happened. When I first read this, I thought it was fake. I thought this came from, We Got This Covered, which is, the biggest website to just make any headline that just wow, that's crazy. Jaime Foxx is in talks right now to return as Electro for Spider-Man 3. Or, you know, it's probably going to have home in the title, Spider-Man Comes Home, Spider-Man Welcome Home, something like that. Yeah, I am at a loss of words, but now there is a lot of speculation. We have been aware that there is a Spider-Verse. It's called Spumix. Sony Pictures Universe of Marvel Characters. Stupid title.
Yes.
And, you know, we got Venom. It started with Venom. Then we were going to get Morbius, but pandemic, and now we have to wait till 2021 to see that. And we saw Michael Keaton's Vulture show up. We're like, oh, is Sony and the MCU coming together? Then, well, Far From Home came, and then we see J.K. Simmons reprise his role as J. Jonah Jameson, which has been known as the most perfect casting of any comic book movie from the Tobey Maguire days.
Yes.
So, a lot of people are like, oh my god, is there a chance? Because, you know, every Spider-Man fan's big dream is to see Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland on screen together at the same time as Spider-Man. Then, now we get this. Electro from The Amazing Spider-Man. In the MCU, there's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. That's Sam Raimi, who directed the original Spider-Man trilogy with Tobey Maguire's directing. A lot of people are speculating, well, Tobey Maguire's got to make a cameo at some point. They just go to a different universe, and there it is. And now a lot of people are thinking, with Electro's death in Amazing Spider-Man 2, they're thinking, well, he just got evaporated to a different universe. So now they're thinking this is going to be the same Electro from the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I don't think that. I think this is going to be a completely different Electro. My heart was mainly set on Kraven to be the third villain. I think he would have been perfect for the storyline they were going for, because now Spider-Man is what he is in the comics. He is a villain to all of New York and the world. Like, they all see him as a menace, a vigilante. Everyone hates him because Mysterio framed him, pretty much. And I think Kraven, you know, being the hunter that he is, he thinks he's the hero. I think it would have set up a lot of stuff. I am only worried about this. And that is, they are going to make Electro, because I do believe this is going to be a different incarnation of Electro. It's another Iron Man villain that's just inconvenient for Spider-Man. In Spider-Man Homecoming, Vulture had a vengeance against Iron Man for destroying New York, and he used Stark technology to beat him. In Spider-Man Far From Home, Mysterio got fired by Tony Stark, and then he used Stark technology to, you know, fight Spider-Man, try to take over the world. I'm worried, you know, with, you know, the electronics that they have in the MCU. I feel like this is just going to be another run-of-the-mill. Yeah, Tony screwed this guy over, and we know Spider-Man's his mentor, so now, you know, Spider-Man's got to fight him because, you know, it's Tony Stark's dirty laundry. Yeah, Spider-Man is Iron Man Jr. Woohoo! When Spider-Man should just be Spider-Man. To me, that's my only concern. But Jaime Foxx is a great talent. I enjoyed him as Electro in Spider-Man 2. He's one of the few things that we actually enjoyed in Spider-Man 2.
Absolutely.
We liked Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 when it first came out, but then we rewatched it recently, and we both looked at each other and kind of went, this movie's kind of a hot mess, isn't it?
For sure.
I mean, we still enjoy it for what it is, but I'm not going to fault Jaime Foxx for how bad it is. He can only do his part. So now, Dad, I throw it to you. Do you share the same concerns as me that I bring up? Do you think that crazy theory that we're going to get a Spider-Man movie with an E instead of an A? Or what are your thoughts with this?
Okay, well, first of all, Spider-Man movie, that wouldn't appeal to me. I'm more of a Spider-Man guy. So I'm hoping it doesn't go that way. I mean, if it does, don't get me wrong, I'm going to be there and I'm going to watch it. And then I'll come back with some opinions, but I'm hoping that it's straight up a new Electro that brings something more exciting to what we had. Because back then at 2, he did what he did, but now with the technology that we have, they can really bring him out and do a really good movie with the right Spider-Man. And that's what I'm hoping for.
So, but do you share the concern of that he might be another Tony Stark dirty laundry villain?
Well, that possibility is always there because Spider-Man has the technology that he didn't have. And the way the MCU works, it's very possible that it could happen. I can't rule it out. I'm hoping it's not, But I'm thinking that it might be, yes.
You're thinking it might be? Yeah. Well, let's hope for the best. Let's hope we're wrong.
For sure.
So yeah, that's it. And now for our final topic, we're sticking with Marvel. We are going to be talking about some challenges, if there is any, for the MCU going forward in a post-pandemic era. Do you see there being any challenges for Marvel after this pandemic's over? Or if this pandemic ever ends for, the future end? Because in Endgame, we all expected this to be over. Everyone was ready to say goodbye. They're like, yeah, Black Widow's coming. What?
Yeah.
And everyone, I even have to admit myself, I was a little burnt out after Far From Home, which was the epilogue, if you will, after Endgame. I was like, you know what? I need a little bit of a break. And then the pandemic hit. And then I went back to the theater after 6 months. And I saw the Black Widow trailer. I got excited. And I was not looking forward to it. I was like, it's a prequel. And all these different things. I think a post-pandemic world is actually going to benefit Marvel moving forward because, we've got a year break. Because now Black Widow is no longer coming out this November. It has now moved to 2021. But as much as I think this could benefit, I think it could hurt. Because for the first time ever, thanks to this pandemic, in 2021, we're not going to have 1, not 2, not 3, but we're going to have 4 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies coming out in 2021. We have Black Widow coming out in May. We have Shang-Chi, which I'm getting excited more the more I hear about this character. Especially if they keep it more grounded and more pound. If we have the right combat with it. Coming out in July, which is just 2 months after that. It's a lot of money coming out of people's pockets. Marvel's The Eternals, which is the one I was mainly looking forward to this year, but unfortunately we won't see that anymore. That's coming out in November. And then we get the Spider-Man 3 in December of 2021. It's a packed year. That's where I have concern because then I feel like we'll get back into that fatigue situation that I feel like some people may have been in. What are your thoughts going in pulling all bias to the side?
I think that we're really gonna benefit. They're gonna benefit. We're gonna benefit. I think it's something that's needed right now because of the pandemic. I think the pandemic has put everybody, into a seclusion, if you will, and not being able to do things. Once Marvel hits with their movies, I think it's going to take off just like the other ones did. I think it's something that has momentum, and the momentum stayed with it, I think, even after the end game. Oh. I think even after the end game, people are still wanting more because they were so good at what they did that people are going, yes, we want to watch more of this kind of stuff. So I think it's going to do well based on that.
Yeah. Do you think they should have kept the November release date for Black Widow instead of moving it to 2021? Because now it's a packed year. 2021 is packed. Basically every other weekend, we're going to have a big movie. Not just for Marvel, but, Universal has Fast 9 and Jurassic World 3 coming out. We got Warner Brothers with Wonder Woman, Batman. It's a very stacked year. Do you think, because they pulled Black Widow got pulled because Tenet didn't do good in the theaters. People a lot of executives just think right now, hey, people just aren't ready to go back to the theater, which is understandable. But I don't think Tenet was the movie. I think Black Widow could have been the movie that people go, you know what? We'll take the risk, although I will claim to this day that if anyone is doing COVID procedures right, it's the movie theaters. I've never felt safer than I was at the theater. Do you think they should have kept it, or do you think this is the right move to move to the 2021?
Well, I can't say one way or the other that it was right or wrong, but I think they erred on the side of caution. Why take the chance of throwing Black Widow out there in a time that people may not attend like they want them to attend? Let's go ahead and move it back. Let's go ahead and get everybody juiced up for what is coming and really have the theater the way they know it can happen for their kind of movies. So I think they erred on the side of caution, moved it back. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's going to be a good thing for them at the end.
Do you think Now, to go the other route like they did with Mulan and we make it exclusively for Disney Plus subscribers, do you think that was something they should have really considered? Or do you think, nah, we need to be in the theater for this movie?
No, they should not have done that. I'm glad they're leaving at the theaters for this. I think these kind of movies deserve that big screen and everything that it brings to us.
I agree. I also agree they should have put Mulan in on Disney Plus. They should have saved that one for the theater as well. That's going to be it for us, guys. This is the first Kickback on YouTube, and we expect to do a lot more. This was a lot of fun.
It was fun. I had a good time.
I'm going to try to start getting this weekly, but with pandemic stuff, I mean, movie news is really not a lot right now. Y'all can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LemonStudios11. And you can subscribe to the channel here, and you can comment about all the topics that we talked about here. What are y'all thoughts about it? I am curious to see what y'all know about it. Also, leave me a like and ring that bell, or hit that bell, because it doesn't really ring when you touch it. And that is going to be it. That's it. Bye.
Adios, amigos.
And we'll see you next time here at Lemon Studios.